picture. Unfortunately, we have some bad news regarding the situation on player contracts. Now, of course, we were expecting the worst in a situation that was going on for weeks and weeks that we had no clarity on. So it's safe to say that nobody's surprised with the news. However, it's still very heartbreaking nonetheless. Daniel Johnson is leaving Preston North End after, since famously arriving in 2015, for that 50 grand fee. Johnson is now officially parting ways with Preston, so let's take a read, shall we? Preston North End can confirm Daniel Johnson will leave the club at the end of his contract. The two parties have been in discussion since the conclusion of the season regarding the renewal of his deal. However, DJ has informed the club that he will be moving on, famously arriving for a fee of just £50,000 in 2015. The Jamaica international has since gone on to write his name in the North End history books. The club's 2020 Player of the Year became the 28th man to make 300 appearances for Preston back in August of 22, following the footsteps of Alan Brown. Contributing 57 goals throughout his time at Deepdale, Johnson has been an important figure for the club and has on many occasions worn the captain's armband. Manager Ryan Law said, "We are disappointed, but Johnson wants a new challenge. I had a fantastic relationship with DJ and all the players did, and I'm sure the fans did too. But sometimes people want fresh challenges, and that's what DJ's told us he wants to do, and we have to respect that. He'll go down as a legend at the football club, and rightly so, because he's a very talented footballer. It's disappointing because of what he's done here over the years, and we'd have liked to have a better send-off for him if this was going to be the case. We've been in dialogue with him for a time regarding him staying. We've done everything we possibly can to keep him, but we wish DJ all the best as he moves on to a new venture. Everyone at Preston North End would like to thank DJ for his fantastic service to the football club and wish him the very best in the future." And it sounds like there's not going to be any form of proper send-off, which is it's abysmal. I understand that it's come out very suddenly that he's leaving, but come on, his contract's not up just yet. We could give him the farewell that he deserves during one of the friendlies. Why not? But we'll see what unfolds, because there's no information about anything like that just yet. But yeah, very unfortunate. Of course, Johnson's a fan favourite, one of most people's favourite players since he arrived, for many good reasons. He's a fantastic player, incredibly creative, and he's been one of our greatest assets for a long time now. However, it does beg the question, what's going on with the midfield now? Because we have another piece of news, and that is Josh Onomah's moving on as well. Let's read. Preston North End can confirm that Josh Onomah will leave the club at the end of his contract. The 26-year-old who joined North End in January of 23 on a deal until the end of the season was offered and agreed a new contract with the club. However, complications have seen negotiations extend into the pre-season, and the club have now taken the decision to move on. During his time at Deepdale, Josh made 13 appearances, with 9 of those coming off the bench. Manager Ryan Law has said, "We offered Josh a contract about a week before the season finished, and we were in negotiations with Josh and his representatives. Josh's contract terms were agreed, but there's been a lot of complications with the deal regarding if and when he could sign, which was out of our control. Unfortunately, we've had to move on to other targets because we couldn't wait any longer. We wish Josh all the best, and hopefully he gets back playing somewhere because he's a talented boy, but we just couldn't wait any longer in that difficult situation." So yeah, that's a big shame as well, because if there was any player we had signed, any player that was out of contract that I wanted to keep the most, it was him. Because from what we've seen in other places, he's a fantastic footballer and he's very, very creative in the midfield area. Sure, he didn't do a massive amount for us, but at the same time, it is what it is. Because it's out of our control, like we say. And like I say, we didn't see too much of him because he couldn't get himself fit, but it is what it is, unfortunately. But yeah, all the best to Josh, because like manager says, he's a very talented footballer, deserves the minutes, just needs to keep himself in shape, and that's it really. But yeah, Johnson and Onomah both leaving, so that puts us in a bit of a pickle, doesn't it? If you think about who we've actually got, it's not ideal circumstances, I won't lie. So courtesy of P&E Pure on Twitter, go follow them if you don't already, that this is our current squad list. I would just look at the squad myself, but I'm too lazy and I saw this early, so I'm going to use this. Of course, the goalkeepers, we've still got the 3 intact. Defenders, we've got them secured, kind of locked down. We've got Cunningham, Brady, Hughes, Story, Lindsay, Diaby, Bauer, Potts and Ramsey. That's plenty of options for the defence. That is perfectly fine. I haven't the problem. One of my biggest concerns at the end of the season was, tying down defenders, because they were always getting injured and having fitness issues during the season, and we was having to make, some changes to the lineup. We had Lindsay in the middle all season long until suddenly he just stopped being the way he was, and he was picking up injuries left, right, and centre. So Diaby had to come and play for him in the middle rather than on the right side. But that's why I said we need those versatile options, because Cunningham can play left back, centre back. Lindsay plays centre back, but has shown left back, but let's keep him at centre back. Story can do right back. Diaby can do centre back and right back. Bauer can do centre back. So, we just need to keep all of these options open essentially for the back. Brady and Potts are more wing back rather than the essential back or right side, left side defender. But that's, like I said, that's the dual end, and then Hughes is obviously a left side as well. So we've got two left siders, 2 centre backs, and then 2 right backs, and then some of them can swap in and out with each other. Again, like I say, options are open, and it keeps things going just in case things pick up. Forwards and midfielders is where the problems come in, because in the midfield we have Ledson, Whiteman, McCann, Brown, and Woodburn. We only have 5 midfielders, and normally it's not uncommon to play 5 midfielders. It's not looking great, is it? I mean, of course, 3 is normally the way to go for most people, but 5 isn't an uncommon practice these days. And if we're playing all 5 at once and people start to pick up injuries, things are going to go bad, because the way that we play, we do not like to change shape in the middle of a game. If a midfielder goes down, chances are we're not going to try and change too much shape, and it doesn't sound like we have anything in our back pocket as a reserve. Because obviously people don't like Ledson playing all the time. Whiteman's got, of course, one of our most essential players in the midfield, but even his contract's expiring next year. McCann's another one of those players that we love and need, but even he can pick up an injury every now and then. Obviously Brown was out for the end of the season, and then Woodburn's just fucking garbage. But then when it comes to the forwards, we've got Reece and Evans, Finlay Cressida, and that's it. You know what I mean? Reece and Evans up top, yeah, sure, that sounds fine and dandy but until you realise that Reece has been out injured for the rest of the season, so he might need to, have a minute to get kicking. Ched has had a almost life-changing injury, so he might take a bit of time to get back kicking as well. Reece doesn't challenge for headers. Evans can challenge too much at times, and Finn is just, he's still young and he's still learning his trade. You know what I mean? It's a very... It's as this guy says, it's haunting. We don't have many players, and with the recent interview that Ryan Lowe's recently done as well, during the pre-season, fitness things that they posted the other day, he said that there's 1 or 2 that they hopefully have lined up. We need a bit more than 1 or 2. We need about 5. We need at least 2 midfielders. We need at least 2 forwards, and maybe a left wing back. Sorry, you know what I mean? We need these options because we just do not have them. It's going to be a difficult season. It will be based on who's on the table. This is a very difficult season that we're going to be headed into, and this is not a playoff challenging side. We can't keep relying on lone players to come in and save us from being humiliated time and time again. We need a genuine plan to get some permanent signings going to take us forward. You know what I mean? There's things that aren't just looking up right now, and it's concerning. It gets me concerned, and a lot of people on Twitter are concerned. Of course, P&E Twitter's back to being toxic because people are losing their shit over the fact that we have not so many players, that Onomah's left the door and they've suddenly turned on him, even though there's praising him and sucking his dick not long ago. So, like I said, P&E Twitter is just, it's off the autism spectrum sometimes. And how rapidly things can change, but it is what it is, unfortunately. But like I said, sad news to bring to you guys today, but oh well, it is what it is. Pre-season starts this weekend at Bamber Bridge, so that'll be fun. Next weekend we've got a game against Bury at Gig Lane, which I will probably be attending. So first, away day? I wouldn't consider Bamber Bridge much of an away day. It's like only 10 minutes down the road, if that. But in terms of going to a place I've never been before, which is Gig Lane, it'd be very exciting to go to Gig Lane and see what that's all about. But yeah, we've gone off the back of good news being the kit to now losing 2 players and everything's in meltdown. So hopefully we can pull ourselves out the bag and we can just announce 3 strikers out of nowhere. But yeah, it is what it is. thanks all for watching. Let me know what you think about this in the comments below, and if not, you can always let me know on Twitter. Always open for discussion. Link in the description, all that lovely good stuff. But yeah, thank you all once again, and I shall see you whenever there's a next bit of news or after the weekend pre-season.